Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with these cards, and this is something that I have been doing myself for the last couple of months, and this deck, if you guys are into reading for yourselves and things like that, you guys might like this deck. It has a beautiful 4-card spread in here. It's called the Relating Spread. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend some time tuning in, okay, and I'll talk you through the spread. Spirit team, please help me connect in and tune into the Divine Counterpart collective, those who are in alignment with me, those who are watching this. What is the current energy? So the first card that we pull is going to be us, so those who are watching this, okay, so you, and how you are relating to the here and now within the connection, right? And then the second card is going to be the other person, so your divine counterpart, and how they, what they are contributing to the relating here and now, their input, okay? Now the third card is going to be the combined energies, so what's currently happening with both of your energies combined, both of our energies combined. And the fourth card is going to be advice slash guidance from Spirit, okay? So I'm going to shuffle this 2 more times. I will think of a better setup for this, guys, but just for now, this is working for me. All right. All right, here we go. So the bottom deck energy, and I think this, I don't know necessarily what this bottom deck energy would be. I guess it would be the lesson, right? Let's look at it that way. So the bottom deck energy, oh, let's move this across, is receive with love and appreciation. Receiving something lovingly from others is a way of showing love. Okay, so this is essentially what I don't want to call it a lesson, right? But what you guys are currently integrating and learning, right? This gives us an insight into sort of how that's showing up, and I guess the reasoning for why whatever is happening, it's happening, if that makes sense. Give me a sec. I'm just trying to navigate this, guys. Sorry. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read from this. I'm going to read this one first. So number 34, isn't it? Okay, so it says, a simple consideration is to be courteous when someone is trying to give us something. The angels encourage us to be able to graciously receive as an act of kindness. Allow someone the opportunity to express love by accepting what someone wants to do or give to you. Okay? Give me a minute to just sit with that. So this would definitely indicate if you have noticed your counterpart is relating to you more within the connection through things like acts of service, okay? This could definitely sort of talk about that. And it's also about allowing yourself to receive what is being given with love, in a way that maybe you're not necessarily attuned to at this time. So I know when we feel as though things are missing, or if we feel as though we're not getting something that we need within the connection, like just for example, lately I've been really feeling as though I'm needing a lot more physical touch from George. And it's funny because, and this happens in normal, like, you know, every relationship where each other's, you know, needs are going to be different, right? And I think Georgia's right now is just support through acts of service, because I remember yesterday I did a bunch of washing, and he usually does the washing. He's like, he doesn't let me touch it. He's like, no, washing's my thing. But I noticed that he's been really exhausted lately and really, you know, he's been quite burnt out. So I took the initiative to just get some stuff done, and, you know, I had the energy and I was in the mood, so I didn't mind doing some washing. And he was napping after work yesterday because he was exhausted. He came straight home and he fell asleep on the lounge. And oh yeah, I was just plodding around and just doing some washing, and he thanked me for that. And that's a normal thing, right? To me, when he thanked me for that, I was like, oh, no, that's fine, no worries, like, I don't mind doing it. But when I was laying in bed later that night, after I had just been feeling really sort of like almost resentful, not necessarily towards him, but just at the fact that he wasn't naturally feeling the same way, you know, I was, in regards to needing, you know, feeling like I need more affection, like physical affection and cuddles and kisses and, you know, things like that, physical intimacy, because our relationship is quite jam-packed with emotional intimacy, that we don't necessarily always need a lot of physical intimacy, if you know what I mean. But lately I've been finding myself being like desiring that, wanting that, needing that connection that way. And that's not usual for me. So trying to navigate that and understand that has been quite confusing. And I found myself feeling quite stressed out and anxious and angry about, you know, the fact that I can't let that go and just enjoy and be present and enjoy what's happening. But that was an individual lesson for me to learn to honor my feelings without trying to get rid of them. And I found that the pressure I was feeling of not having that need met dissipated once I allowed myself to feel that anger. It went away, literally within like 30 minutes. It was so hilarious. Yeah, so after that I was laying in bed and I realized, I don't know, I guess Spirit brought it to my attention. It came into my mind that I replayed that he thanked me for that. And I suddenly saw it in a very different way. So that is, in a sense, receiving that appreciation. He received what I did with love and appreciation, and in turn, I was able to receive his expression of thanks and gratitude for something that I had done for him through an act of service as love. And I felt love through that. Isn't that beautiful how things like that happen? And this is what I hope to do here. Like, I hope to give you guys that perspective and help you sort of see things from a different way, because it's not as black and white as we expect. Okay, so the first card here we have, so this is going to be you, us, watching this now. How, you know, what does it say in here? Sorry guys, I always forget. I had done this spread for years. You and what you are contributing to the relating here and now. Oh my gosh. Practice compassion. See things from a different perspective. As if you guys are not laughing with me right now. That's hilarious. Literally what I was saying. And it very much ties in with this. Okay, let's go number 15. So, all right, here we go. We can all benefit when we try to look at things from someone else's viewpoint. Walking in someone else's shoes helps us to have a tender understanding that may change how we are feeling now. Love and compassion always bring a positive outcome. And it's funny because when I was just reading this right now, I noticed a feeling come up for me. And it was a feeling that I felt last night during my moment of anger that I let myself have. I journaled it out and I expressed it. And I was very much having a moment of feeling sorry for myself, where I was really overwhelmed. You know, like, why am I the only one that is, you know, wanting to better myself in my interpersonal relationships? Not just this one, but, you know, everywhere else. Like, why am I the one that's always doing the work and seeking to understand someone else so that they can feel, respected and accommodated and nurtured and cared for? But no one seems to be doing that for me. I do that for everyone, and they don't do that for me, and it was just sort of like that moment where I allowed myself to have that feeling, and I acknowledged that that's how I felt in that moment. And I guess I no longer really feel that way. I'm able to see that it was just a moment, that those feelings, right? And anger is a secondary emotion. So that secondary emotion was coming from me not acknowledging and understanding myself. And through allowing myself to have that moment of being angry at the world and being angry at the people in my life for not caring for me the way that I care for them, through allowing myself to do that, later on I was able to see things from a different perspective and see that I can still get what I am seeking from that, based on how they give it to me. Just because it's not the same way that I give it to them doesn't mean that it's not fulfilling for me. And that's something that I think we worry about a lot too. Okay, let's look at the divine counterpart. Okay, so the other person's input to the relating here and now. The only thing that is real is love. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. So don't freak out about that. You might be going, oh, what do you mean, what problem? What problem? Let me find number 7 here. We are conditioned to dwell on problems. The true reality is love. Make the choice now to take a deep breath and focus on what is true. Negativity will disappear once you affirm, everything is okay. I choose love. So this is where they are coming from. What they are contributing is that they are focusing on love. And it's funny because it's hard because these cards are sort of worded as if like it's advice, something that you're not already doing. But the placement of this card is what they are already, like what they are contributing to the here and now. So this is something that they're already doing, okay? And I have to remind myself that sometimes. So they are focusing on what is real. Love. There may be problems in their life, or maybe things have been rocky with you guys. Oh my goodness, sorry if you can hear someone mowing. But they're focusing on, they're choosing to see that things are okay, even if they're stressed out or even if they're worried. They're choosing to see things through the lens of love. This is what they're doing. They're shifting their focus from whatever's going on for them onto love. And we'll find out more about, what's going on. I will pull some tarot. But this is just a bit of an overview. Okay, so next we have the combined energies. Oh, I love this. Express your love through gifts, not physical gifts, that too. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. I think this could be relating to what I was saying about this. A gift is visible evidence of your loving thoughts. A gift does not need to be expensive. Showing someone your favorite place, sharing a favorite song, or writing a note of gratitude are all gifts. This lets the receiver you intend this for know that you care. So this is what you're both doing. And I feel as though looking out for those, any praise or words of affirmation that you get from your counterpart. That's them, giving to you. And I'm sure that we're already giving to our counterpart. Always are. And as well, it's being attuned to the other person. So taking cues, what's been going on with their life? What's been going on for them? Going back to me, right? Because this is how I can give examples. I've noticed that my counterpart has been really burnt out and stressed from work lately and has been super, super tired. So I've been encouraging those naps, encouraging that rest, you know, doing my best to, you know, if I have the energy, right? And this is not like necessarily like sacrificing your own self for the other person at all. You know, like with the washing, it's not my usual chore that, you know, not that we have usual chores, but that's something he likes to handle and take care of. But I noticed that it was piling up and he was, you know, obviously he's not home. I work from home. He's not home during the day, and when he gets home from work lately, he's just been crashing. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna take the initiative. I have the energy and I have the time today, I'm gonna do it. It's things like that, you know, that he obviously was very appreciative of. So, and for you, it might be that maybe you don't have the time to do something like what I did for my counterpart, but maybe you have, I don't know, maybe you've just gotten a raise and you have extra money this week, and you've been, you know, you've heard that they've been meaning to buy this, you know, this thing, or, you know, or you see something and you're like, oh, they would love that. It could be a, you know, material thing. It doesn't have to be. Or it could just be, you know, something that I am planning on doing that you guys might have. This might give you, some of you, an idea, for those who live with your counterpart. I had a download last night, or a thought we have like a house planner with like notes sections. So I'm going to be pulling an oracle card for his day ahead, because he gets up early to work and I'm usually asleep still. And I'll pull a card for him and have it there so he can look at it before he goes to work, and I'll give him write him a little bit of a, you know, how do you harness this energy so that he can have the best day possible. Just as a little bit of motivation for him. And I'll leave it on the kitchen bench so that he definitely sees it when he walks out. You know, something like that. That's the same thing, right? And I think the place that we are in right now, our counterparts, it's not always going, you know, it's not always feasible for us to, or for them to, you know, be able to give us, you know, physical affection all the time. We have to sort of like work with what's going on, because life happens, right? And life affects us. So it's just about being observant and being able to observe what's going on, and, you know, being flexible with that and adjusting to those energies. And it's always possible. It never means that you go without. And if you feel as though you're still going without, then that's a feeling, that's trying to tell you something. And it's not about the other person. It's something inside of you. Okay? So like, yeah, what I was saying about how I had that angry moment because I felt like I wasn't getting enough physical, you know, touch and love. I let myself be angry. I stopped denying that part of myself that kept saying, oh, this is unreasonable, this is stupid, you know, like, if that's not where he's at and he's not, you know, willingly giving that means that he can't right now. Or that means that maybe he just doesn't feel like being physically affectionate. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that I get to, you know, that I have to, you know, go without love and affection. Affections can be shown in different ways. And, you know, once I allowed myself to have that moment of being, you know, having a little, you know, mini emotional tantrum about it in my journal, that feeling dissipated, and I was able to recognize the affection that I was getting from him, and it meant just as much. Truly, it meant just as much. And if it's not, keep addressing that within yourself. Okay, now the insight or guidance around the situation. Love who you are. You are a divine and wonderful person, deserving all of the wonderful things that life has to offer. This is number 8. Oh, look at this, we've got 7 and 8. Be your own advocate. Believe in yourself. This is what I was saying about the journaling. For those of you who are really aligned with me on this journey, this may, having a journal and journaling out those things that you would usually probably blurt out and start an argument over with your partner. This is a really good way of getting that out so that you don't sabotage the relationship only to, blurt that out to them and be like, oh shit, I didn't need to do that. Love who you are, and the energy of self-love will help you to realize your dreams. When was the last time you gave yourself a pat on the back or acknowledged that you love yourself? Working on a good relationship with yourself will enable you to have a positive relationship with others. And that's the thing, right? It's also as well, like when we decide to do that for ourselves, we lead by example for other people in our life, not just our counterpart, right? If you have siblings, friends, it's the same thing. And for those of us who are watching this right now and are on this journey, a lot of us have really noticed an energy of, needing to lead by example and leadership in our lives, our whole lives, basically. So this isn't something that, you're not familiar with. But doing this for ourselves doesn't only benefit us, it benefits other people too. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull some tarot. I'm just going to pop these to the side so that I can reference them. I'm just going to get a little bit more, go a little bit more in depth into the counterpart energies here. Spirit, please. I'm bending over trying to shuffle these cards, so that's why it's a little bit wonky. Spirit, let's get more of see how this is confusing. How do I address what's going on here? Those who are watching, their energy when it comes to the card practice compassion, how they are, what they are contributing, what we are contributing to the relating here and now. Because there's too many there. Okay. So, yeah, it's been quite difficult for us to sort of cut through the crap here. And we've been going at this, really trying hard to sort of separate the wounding that we're experiencing on the surface to what's going on, okay? And we are tired. But we've been really, really asserting ourselves here and asserting what it is that we perceive and looking for a way to transmute the confusion and the illusions behind that, okay? This Knight of Wands, I get a really excited energy from that. What is that talking about? This could be, if you resonate with what I was saying about the, wanting to be physically intimate, right? That could be talking about that, okay? And going back to what I was saying that I had learnt and figured out about that. Can we clarify the Knight of Wands here, please, Spirit? But as well, what that's been linked for me, this Knight of Wands energy that I've been experiencing has also been linked to me sort of realizing that, yeah, okay, I've gone through a lot the last 4 months, and haven't been myself, and I want to rediscover the aspects of myself that are, you know, inspired and confident and fun and excited. I want to feel that way. I want to feel that way again. I want to discover that part of me again. Spirit, please clarify the Knight of Wands. Judgment. Yeah, okay. So I feel like that's just talking about, this is really, when we decide to be spontaneous with the energy that's coming up, it's not a carelessness. I really don't feel that whatsoever. I really feel as though this is shifting from, it's like shifting the illusion of needing to fight and be combative, and transmuting that into a more playful, fun energy, especially if, like me, your counterpart has been going through a lot recently. Not that, you know, that's not sort of taking away the fact that we have it too. Like, we definitely have as well. But being able to show that compassion, practice that compassion, and see things from a different perspective has allowed us to take a better approach for us, an approach that is better for us. And in turn, this really does sort of like impact our path in a huge way. Okay, I'm hearing like taking the high road. So some of us may have sort of been like, yeah, I'm just going to take the high road, but this is something that we have wanted to do. And it's not as though our divine counterpart has, you know, wanted to win a battle. I feel like there's been no battle. The battle has been an individual internal one on both sides. That the energies from both of us going through our own individual battles, right? Energy sort of impacts how we perceive each other. And I think there's been a lot of and it, like, spiritually speaking and energetically speaking, triggering each other's survival responses, which we can talk about that in another video. So that's what's going on with us, right? And it's beautiful that we're able to practice and show compassion, even in the light of confusion. Right, Spirit, the divine counterpart of us, our divine counterpart, let's see. Let's clarify. The only thing that is real is love card. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. I'm gonna do 3 more shuffles and then move forward. It's interesting. I'm just tuning in. So I feel like how this relates to, yeah, okay, so when that card talks about shift your focus from the problem back to love, right? For a lot of these divine counterparts, the problem had been their trauma. Definitely indicated here with the 10 of Swords. And that trauma was impeding their ability to show love, because they had been in such a state of, you know, either fight, flight, fawn, freeze. And it's going to be different depending on obviously the childhoods of each of your counterparts. But mine was in a state of, it's still sort of coming out of a state of freeze, shutdown. So this meant that what this looks like is severe dissociation just in everyday life. And that in turn triggered my form survival response and my fear of abandonment, my abandonment wound. For a lot of us as well, like if you're really resonating with this, a lot of us, you know, the counterpart couples, we both have complex PTSD. So I'm definitely not here diagnosing anyone. This is like, you know, if you already know that that is something that you deal with, then this is just extra confirmation for you that you're in the right place, and that this is your collective here. And through me realizing this about myself, I also realized that that was reflected within my counterpart. And I'd actually learned a lot about his childhood and how that has contributed to what's playing out right now between us, you know, this. And this is something that has to be balanced within them through patience and diligence. This is something that they're having to turn, that they're having to make right. And I'm not sure if they even necessarily notice it too much. I've been wanting to sort of express that, like, I understand what's going on when you do this, but that could even trigger, in my case, right? That could even trigger a shutdown. Because the nervous system has been conditioned to sort of shut down or dissociate as soon as the brain perceives a threat to the environment, to the survival of that person, of my person. So it's hard to know when to sort of approach this, because this is obviously something that, you know, if we can see it happening, we want our counterpart to be aware of. But it's also something that we have to trust that we can help lead them to it. But it's not our responsibility or our job to, you know, be a therapist or help them understand. Which for some of us can be sort of a scary thing or a hard pill to swallow, because it, you know, runs the risk of them not doing the work that they need to be doing. But we have to remember that they will, in their own way. It may look different to the way that we do the work, to the way that we process and integrate things that we learn about ourselves and our trauma. And we have to trust as well that we're leading by example. Page of Swords underneath. Yeah, this has sort of really got them questioning their stability. And for these divine counterparts, stability is so important to them. Which is something that they have to sort of understand as well, that, you know, if a job isn't serving them, something like that, if something that provides them stability isn't serving them, it's not really stability, is it? It's providing them a false sense of stability. And this is the deeper, I think this is the information that's sort of coming to them here. And the way that we support them through this is by practicing compassion, seeing things from a different perspective. Because energetically, that leaves an impact that allows them to come to terms with things and allows them to realize things and you know, integrate this and you know, it's almost like this Knight of Pentacles. They've just been focusing on this, and what they need to do now is focus on their spiritual and emotional stability, because physical stability does not equal emotional stability at all. And what is sort of impeding on their emotional stability is these triggers that they're experiencing. So they need to become aware of it so that they can navigate those triggers. Okay, let's look at, I know this is a long video already. Let's look at combined energies right now for the divine counterparts. So we already talked about, you know, express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them, whether that be material or not. It's sort of like, I guess, acts of service can be considered a small gift or a token of love. So if that, you know, the whole acts of service trope that I was going on about resonates with you, or you can relate to that in any kind of way, then that definitely talks about that. All right, 2 more shuffles. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Because these combined energies, right? So there's a sense of progression here and a shift within the connection, right? It's like we're leveling up in some kind of way together as a couple. And we are open to new insights and ideas, okay, which is helping us complete the cycle. A lot of Wands energy here. It's bringing a sense of passion back into our lives, each other's lives, based on the combined work that we're doing and the individual work that we're doing. So for me, right, this would be, doing this video is that for me. I've had lots of ideas on how I want to broaden my content and, you know, things that I'm passionate about content-wise, not just, you know, doing tarot videos on TikTok. And I want to call in a new audience with these videos because I feel like I have a lot to offer and a lot that I can help with. So there's a sense of a combined effort here. There's a combined understanding and receptivity between the two of us, right? Between both counterparts, that is enabling this connection to progress. It's like we're coming out of the trenches now. And what once seemed so overwhelming isn't as overwhelming anymore. And look at this, underneath the High Priestess, 9 of Cups. So it's, yeah, look at this, in a sense of expansion, ships coming in, getting what we want, feeling emotionally fulfilled. I just want to see what this progression is. Can I have the 2 of Wands, please, Spirit? I'm just shuffling off here because it's easier. Progression within the connection. Progression spiritually. And what will this look like, this progression within the connection? What will this look like in the physical for us? The 5 of Cups just popped out, which to me, it popped back in, but it's telling me that going from a sense of, you know, grieving or wounding, which I know for me the last few months has definitely been, that's been my reality within my connection, and trying hard to sort of like figure out how to move forward when there's an obvious disconnect. And you know, also realizing that disconnects don't have to equal a complete and infinite disconnection. Disconnections are really opportunities to run a diagnostic and see what, you know, what the problem is. It's an opportunity to remain connected, really. What is this going to look like in the physical for us, please, Spirit? Two of Wands, Two of Cups. Yeah. A little bit more vulnerability. Yeah, because I realized when I asked that question, as I was shuffling, I was answering it. It's going to look like reconnection after a disconnect. But it may come up as a bit more vulnerability and a bit more, you know, how am I trying to explain that? Bliss between the two of us, which is really, really beautiful. All right, now to finish up, let's get some clarity on the guidance, the insights, the love who you are. You are a divine and wonderful person, deserving of all the wonderful things that life has to offer. I'm just getting something quickly here. Okay, so I don't know, I guess I was having like a thought in my mind, like of someone, like one of you guys asking me if George knows that I do this, that I talk about our relationship and the higher purpose of our relationship on here. And the answer would be, I don't think so. I know he definitely knows that I help with, you know, readings and stuff, you know, by explaining things that I've been through. So obviously if there's anything that I've learned within the connection, you know, and a lot of what we've integrated and what we've learned is happening on a soul level. Like I'm aware of it, consciously aware of it, but I don't necessarily know if he is. I think he's very much more of a spiritual being than I am. So I feel like all the insights and information I feel like I get from him spiritually, if that makes sense. It's not something that needs to be said. It's not something that we have to, it's not a physical, tangible problem or issue that needs to be fixed. It's a spiritual one. So I feel as though a lot of this is happening underneath. So I feel like on a soul level he would know, but on his, you know, in a conscious way, no. I don't think we're at that point yet where we can both sort of like freely discuss and, you know, philosophize about our connection that way. I would definitely love that. Hoping we can get there one day. I think as well it's because like he thinks that, you know, he may think that I definitely am the one with more knowledge on this situation, but he doesn't realize that he has the spiritual knowledge. He naturally knows these things. These are soul truths for him. Okay, one more shuffle and then we'll pull the last card. Insight and guidance. Okay. Wow, big energies. Wow, okay. Look at this. Regaining the confidence. Actually, went like this, sorry. Regaining the confidence and the understanding and the stability, the individual stability to move forward from this. Okay, so what did it say? Love who you are. You are a divine and wonderful person, deserving of all the wonderful things that life has to offer. And it says, I just want to read it again, sorry, I've forgotten already. Be your own advocate. Oh, look at this, 100%. 100%. Believe in yourself. Love who you are, and the energy of self-love will help you to realize your dreams. When was the last time you gave yourself a pat on the back or acknowledged that you love yourself? Working on a good relationship with yourself will enable you to have a positive relationship with others. Yeah, and I feel like this is sort of encouraging us and them to really focus and hone in on that now. And I definitely feel as though, I'm not sure yet how that's playing out for the divine counterparts, but for us at least, I feel like it'll be the same energies that we're seeing, but it may just manifest in different ways, right? So for us, we're taking this sort of like, we're getting a sense of inspiration here, and we're taking that and we are deciding to take action on that. And again, for me, this looks like doing this video and, you know, changing my content to doing more things that I love content wise. That gives me a sense of purpose. That gives me a sense of it allows me to take action on my dreams, and it allows me to take back the power that I may get lost in thinking that the only thing I have to offer to contribute to is the relationship, but I don't. And I can contribute to the relationship by contributing to my own life here. When I say I mean us. This allows us to feel stable and confident and worthy. Why? Because we're deciding to continue to invest in ourselves. This is closing up individual lessons here. So that's what the insight or the guidance is it's allowing us to take action on our own journey, which it's funnily enough, it sort of fixes, it helps, you know, what am I trying to say? The connection was poor. Even though we felt it might have just been on their end, they were disconnected, we were too. If we really look at it, we were disconnected from ourselves, just in a different way. And what we were recognizing as them being disconnected was definitely us being disconnected from ourselves. So we were like, oh my God, like, you know, he's dissociating, I'm just gonna say they because I know that this is gonna be not just, you know, hetero relationships. You know, oh, they're dissociating, they're disconnecting from me and from themselves, and they're just so disconnected from reality. But we were too, just in a different way. We got lost in the depths of what we were experiencing emotionally, and they got lost in the depths of the external outside world because of what was happening emotionally for them. So now it's time to take this baton and run with it, because that is going to be, look at this, we'll just split the deck, 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups. That is going to be what sort of brings us back to this closer sense of connection. Look at that. It brings back fun and excitement and a sense of like friendship to the partnership. That's another thing I realized too. Fears and triggers were coming up about, you know, and this, I just want to be completely vulnerable in this space, so I will. You know, fears and triggers were coming up for me around, you know, George becoming friends with someone and falling in love with them, because that's what happened with us. We became best friends, and then we fell in love. And I didn't know why I was so worried about that all of a sudden. After 2 years of just really enjoying the connection and being present, none of this was coming up. Why was it why was it here? And it was because the sense of friendship within our connection hadn't been prioritized, because the sense of connection and fun and joy within ourselves hadn't been prioritized. So in order to bring that back, I had to prioritize that with myself. I had to feel confident in myself again, because I realized I'm a different person than the person he met. And it's not that that person never existed, it's that that person, we've been dealing with a lot of pain and hurt and wounding and trauma. And it's time for us to really take action to get that version of ourselves that we miss back. Because that's really what this is about. That really is what this is about here. When we feel comfortable and confident within ourselves and where we're at, we don't feel a sense of insecurity. And sure, we may perceive things in our external reality that are making us feel insecure, but it's not causing the insecurity. The insecurity is caused by something within us that needs to be addressed or looked at. And us being triggered to insecurity about what's going on in our external life That's just a byproduct of what's going on internally. And we need to remember that. We need to look at it so that we can see, oh, this is, sure, I feel this way. Sure, I feel triggered because of this or this. But the fact that I'm able to be triggered by this means that there's something internal going on here. So, we're going to leave it there today. Otherwise, this is going to be like a 2-hour video. But I really, really enjoyed being here today. And I really enjoyed doing this reading for you today. And I hope that this reaches a plethora of people that are on this journey. I'm really excited to create community around this. And I just remember, like, before I had the thought or realized to do this, I felt like I was struggling. Like I was drowning and I couldn't see or hear or feel anything that, you know, gave me a sense of hope or direction. I just didn't know what to do. And I don't ever want someone to feel that way. If, you know, I can provide help and guidance and insight. It's not to say you're not going to struggle, but you won't struggle as much having something to relate to and having something as a guide. So I truly hope that this reaches the people that it is supposed to, and that we can begin to create community here. I'm going to aim to do these videos once a week as like an energy update for the week, and a snapshot at what we're going to be looking at for the week too. I'll probably come up with different sorts of ideas, and if you guys have different ideas of, you know, types of things you'd like to see in regards to these readings, please leave them down below. I am wanting to get some oracle cards, like, you know, Divine Counterpart, Twinflame oracle cards that I can use in these readings to get a deeper meaning and understanding from both people's perceptions. So if you guys have any decks that you see other readers use that you love, that you would like to see me use in here, in these readings, please let me know what they are and I'll add them to the list. I have a list of decks that I'm wanting to order. And I'm actually hoping that, you know, if we create enough community here, I would love to create like a Patreon or something that, you know, where I can offer exclusive content for you guys. I'd really love to be able to do that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, and if this helped you, I really hope it did. And please subscribe if you haven't already, like this video, and leave a comment. It really helps get this video out there. And you can follow me on TikTok. I'll put it on the screen. It is, actually no, I'll put it in the description box. It'll be at kim.unmasked, KYM. And you can follow me on Instagram too, where I'll be posting, you know, like daily card, like pull of cards. I'll pull daily cards. Sorry, I'm exhausted from this hour-long reading. You know, daily messages on there too. So definitely feel free to follow me on both of those. And I'm looking forward to the next video. I will see you guys in the next one, hopefully.